We've added millions of dollars into B2B pipelines and booked hundreds of meetings using cold outreach. And in this video, I'm going to be ranking every single cold outreach method for 2026 so you know exactly what works and what to ignore. This is the cold outreach master tier list. And I'm going to be ranking the cold outreach channels based off of how predictable they are, how fast they work, and how scalable they actually are. This isn't just about personal preference, it's about what actually works when you want real results. And I'll place each outreach method into a tier, with S tier being the best, obviously, and C tier being the worst. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's get right into the tier list. One caveat here is that I'll throw in, these are the most common amongst most B2B founders, CEOs, whatever it may be. And the second thing is, just because I put it in a low ranking doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It definitely can work. It just depends to the varying level of success, right? So first off, cold calling. I'm putting this in the C tier. The reason is, I think in 2026, with AI voice receptionists and AI agents and whatnot, I just don't think it's going to stack up as well as it can versus all these other methods, in my opinion, right? We're also talking about, like I said, how scalable this is and how fast and predictable this is. In terms of fast and effectiveness, this works really well if you're trained on cold calling. If you're a natural cold caller, this works really well, but it's just very hard to scale because it's a lot of time and effort, and it takes a lot of time and effort to scale this out because you're spending your own personal time, or you're going to spend time hiring someone, training them on your offer, booking them in, yada, yada, yada. So for me personally, I just don't think this is the best method heading into 2026, given that it's going to get harder and it doesn't scale as much as some of these other methods. Just my opinion. Again, C tier for me. If you're a beginner, this works really well, but I think at a later scale, it just doesn't make sense anymore. There's other methods that you can do cold outreach, and it's a lot better. Second is LinkedIn. I'm going to put this in the A tier. If you have a strong personal brand, this is the best. This is one of the best outreach methods you could possibly have, right? If you don't have a personal brand, I'm going to put this in the B tier. But if you have a strong personal brand on LinkedIn, you're posting a lot, putting this in the A tier. You can definitely book a lot of calls, sign clients from it. I also like the fact that how on LinkedIn you can send personal voice memos. That works really well. The only thing is it's just not as scalable as maybe some of these other channels, right? I just think that with LinkedIn, it's like short. Let's say you send out like 50 messages a day, but those 50 messages are high quality a day, right? And you're also spending a lot of time, unless you hire a VA to do it, but you're also spending a lot of time, going through the profile, sending the DM, yada, yada, yada. But the messages are highly personalized. It works really well. The only thing that's stopping LinkedIn from growing even faster is just the scale, honestly. So I think for me, LinkedIn, if you have a strong personal brand, it's A. You can send voice memos on it. People can see your brand. You have your case studies on there. It's really nice. And so I think for me, LinkedIn is going into A tier just because it works super well. If you have a strong personal brand, it just doesn't scale as well as as some of these other methods. Third, cold email. I'm putting this in the S tier. I still think this is the best form of cold outreach to sign clients and book calls. It scales really well. All you have to do is just buy more email accounts. And on top of that, once you know who you're going after in terms of ICP and you know what offer you're doing, it's super easy to just get predictable amount of calls every single day, because all you have to do is just take a look at your numbers for the month or the day and be like, okay, we sent 10,000 emails, we booked 10 calls, for example, and we signed 2 clients. That means for me to sign 4 clients next month, I have to send 20,000 emails and book 20 calls, and I'll be able to sign 4 clients, right? It gets very predictable. It's scalable. You're not spending a lot of time on it. There is a bit of a learning curve, but once you learn that, it's just super easy to scale. And for me, again, this is S tier because of how good it is in terms of scalability. It's fast. Unlike, let's say, LinkedIn, you don't have to spend hours building up, or days or months building up your brand. It can just go right after 2 weeks. You could immediately start launching campaigns and start sending out cold emails, and you can get really good results. So for me, this is S tier. Nothing beats it in terms of cold outreach. If you're a founder and you haven't tried cold email yet, or if you're still skeptical about it, try it out. It works super well. I have a lot of content on my channel about this, so go ahead and check this out. It's the best. Now, Instagram, for me, I'm going to put this in the B tier. Instagram is very unique. If your ICP is on Instagram, I think it can work really well. I know there are some automations as well to where you can automatically DM people and you can book calls. What I really like about Instagram is that you can have your highlights. Like someone can click on your profile, you can have your highlights on your page, and you can like people can see through on your highlights. You can have like case studies and whatnot, and then on your main story, like your story you post per day, it's very personable, right? It's like the thing with cold outreach is that people don't trust you because you're obviously a stranger, like just coming into their inbox and pitching them something, right? But with Instagram, it's like they can see the client stuff, but on your personal story, you can add in your personal life. Maybe you're like a runner, right? And you DM someone who's also a runner, and they get it. They get your DM. They're like, okay, who's this? I get thousands of DMs like this every day. Let me check the story out. Oh, he's running. That's cool. This guy seems pretty cool. And then he'll respond because of the fact of the personal touch and the relatability to you, right? So Instagram is very personal. Like I like it a lot. Like if you really curate and craft this, it's super well. It's very personable. I just think for B2B specifically, it's not the best because not a lot of B2B people are on there. And on top of that, it's the same thing as LinkedIn. You have to build up your brand, number one. Although I don't think as much as LinkedIn, because I've personally done Instagram. I've done appointment setting and cold outreach to Instagram, and I've only have like 70 followers, and I'm still, or like 60 followers, and I'm still booking calls. But it's still have to build up a brand. I think there are automations out there that can help with like the mass scale, but overall, I think Instagram is B tier. If your audience is on there, it adds a very personable touch, and it can work really well. Finally, Messenger DMs. I don't want to give it the D tier, but I do think it is better than cold calling. Or I do think it is not as good as cold calling, but at the same time, I don't want to give it the D tier, right? I'll give it a D tier. I think Messenger DMs are okay. Again, if your ICP is on there, if it's like home services, these guys will be on there. I just don't think it has the same touch as Instagram DMs because the thing is, more. I mean, you have an older crowd first of all with Messenger DMs. Second of all, they're not going to go through, and the way Instagram has it, or the way Facebook has it set up with the highlights and the stories, it's not as like, and maybe this is biased because I don't have, I don't use Facebook, but like it's not as like clean and as simple as Instagram. But Instagram is like, okay, yeah, I know where to click for the stories, I know where to click for the highlights. Facebook, it just looks kind of like outdated and forced for me at least, and so that's part of the reason why I think it's in D tier because it's just like a shittier version of Instagram. The only benefit is you'll have more of these local, especially home service businesses on Messenger rather than Instagram, but it's still like it just doesn't perform as well for me. So I'm gonna put it in the D tier. It's not the best. Again, I know there are automations out there where you can send out tons of Messenger DMs. You are capped, I believe, by account, and so that's the only thing with Instagram and Messenger, and even LinkedIn as well, is that you are capped by your account. And even with cold call, you're capped by your time, right? Or you're capped by your employee's time, or your setter's time, or a salesperson's time, and that's part of the reason. And I'll bring it back, but that's part of the reason why cold email is the most scalable. Once you have everything figured out, you're not capped by anything. You just buy more accounts and you scale like crazy. So anyway, going back to the Messenger, yeah, I just think it's a shitter version of Instagram. I don't think it's like it doesn't have the personal touch factor as Instagram. But the only benefit it has over Instagram is the fact that you can find a lot more of these local home service businesses if that's your niche on Facebook rather than Instagram. So yeah, that's pretty much the tier list, man. I think, like I said, cold email is the best for heading in 2026. But don't let this disturb you. This is just my opinion and on what will scale best, especially if your company's a larger company. All of these methods work, like admittedly, but I just think cold email works the best, and I think it works in this tier. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this video valuable, and let me know, like, what would you rank it in 2026? Where would you have your rankings based off of this? Let me know what you think. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on what you think would work best. If you are a B2B business, by the way, who makes $30,000 a month or more, and you want someone to run outbound for you at scale and cold email for you at scale so that you can reach your entire target market over the next 90 days, click the link in the description below. We can book a time to chat, and we can see if you're a fit. We can see if you're a fit to help for us to help you out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.